Good morning, students. Welcome to MyST for Tuesday, the 5th of May. Mr. Coffee here. Hope you're well, students, and far now. Okay, let's get straight into it. A little bit to do, a few changes. I'm going to challenge you today. I'm going to ask you to extend yourself, to push yourself, to put that effort in that's so important into learning, okay? So we're going to solve lesson 11's problem. That was the question I gave you yesterday. Okay, so let's have a look. So a group of year 7 students are studying healthy foods and want to show at a school assembly how bad sugary drinks are. They know each can of soft drink contains 30 grams of sugar. They want to do this by showing how much sugar there is in soft drinks they drink over a year. Okay, they asked 5 students to record how many soft drinks they have over a week period. The result shows that on average, each student drank 6 cans of soft drinks a week. Okay, so here's the questions. How many soft drinks does an average student drink in a 4-week month? How many soft drinks does an average student drink in a year? And how much sugar from those soft drinks does a student consume over a year? Okay, so there's our questions. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's get some information out of here using our pen or highlighter. And the first piece of information that I grab out of there is that each student, on average, drinks 6 cans of soft drink. So I write it down. So in a week, it equals 6 cans of drink. So I don't write down the whole thing, but I write down the key pieces of information. Okay, now the other piece of information that's useful there is that each can of soft drink has 30 grams of sugar in it, and so I write that down. 1 can equals 30 grams of sugar. So those are the kind of pieces of information. Not a lot, but you know, questions have different ways of being solved, and this is slightly different. So let's have a look now. Now we're going to identify what are we being asked to work out. What are we actually being asked to solve? Okay, so the first question they want to know is how many soft drinks an average student drinks in a 4-week month. So first one, how many cans over a 4-week month? Okay, that's our first question, nice and clear. And then we'll go back and what's the next question? How many soft drinks does this average student drink in a year? So I write that down, how many cans over a year? That's the second question. And then the last question is, how much sugar from the soft drink does a student consume? That's the same as eating. Consuming is like eating, drinking, those sorts of things. It's a fancy word for it over a year. And so I write that. How much sugar over a year? Okay, so now we've got the information we've been provided. 1 week equals 6 cans, and 1 can has 30 grams of sugar. And there's our 3 questions. First piece of information I'm going to ask you is, how many cans over a year? How many weeks in a year? Do you know how many weeks there are in a year? It's not 48. It is, in fact, there are 52 weeks in a year. That's a useful piece of knowledge to have in your brain. See if you can remember that for the future. Okay, so let's have a look at the first question. The first question is, in a 4-week month, so there's 4 weeks in a month, and how many cans do they consume or drink? So the question is 4 weeks, 6 cans a week. The question is 4 times 6. Each week they drink 6 cans, 4 lots of 6, 24 cans. And there we have the answer. That was pretty fast, wasn't it? We used our times tables. They are useful. Next question, how many cans over a year? Now, because we know that there's 52 weeks in a year, we know the question is, for every week, every one of those weeks, they drink 6 cans. So the question is 52 times 6. 52 times 6. We use our big idea and we break it up into 50 times 6 and 2 times 6. We know that 5 times 6 is 30, so 50 times 6 must be 300. It's called place value shift. I'll talk about that one later on in the class. And we have the 12. So in a year, an average student drinks 312 cans. That's quite a lot, isn't it? It sounds a lot, doesn't it? But you know, some days you might drink more than 1 can. Average out. Let's have a look at that last question. How much sugar over a year? Right, this is the hard one. Well, actually not hard, but there's more than one way to solve a question. So if they drink 312 cans a year, consume, and there's 30 grams of sugar in each of those cans, so that means they're drinking or consuming 312 lots of 30 grams. So the mathematical question is actually 312 times 30. Now you're going, oh my gosh, how do I do this? I don't do questions like this. I'm going to show you two ways to do it. And they're actually there on the sheet there now, but I'm going to go over them, okay? Okay, so the first way is we recognize that 30 can be broken up into 3 groups of 10. There's 3 groups of 10, isn't there? So we can partition the question so it's 312 times 10 plus another 312 times 10 plus another 312 times 10. And we know that trick. If we times something by 10, it's pretty simple. We add a 0 to the end of it. And so the answer is there, 3,120 plus 3,120 plus 3,120. Now, don't freak out. Use that partitioning, the breaking up the numbers into their place values. 3,000 plus 3,000 plus 3,000, 100 plus 100 plus 100, 20 plus 20 plus 20. Okay, so what do? We pretend those 3,000s are 3s, don't we? 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, but we need to put the zeros back. So the answer for that is 9,000. We've done this with the hundreds before. No reason we can't do it with the thousands. We've got 3 lots of 100. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Put the zeros back. 300. 20 plus 20 plus 20 equals 60. So we put those together. And so the answer is 9,360 grams of sugar, which is a lot of sugar. A lot of sugar. Here's a second way. 312 times 30. We can remove that 0 that's on the 30, hide it, and again this is called place value shift, and turn the question into 312 times 3. We've changed the question to make it easier. And now we can partition it. 300 times 3 plus 10 times 3 plus 2 times 3. Okay, we hide the zeros, pretend they're not there. 3 times 3 is 9. Put the zeros back. 3 lots of 100. 3 lots of 300, 900. 3 lots of 10, 30. 3 lots of 2 is 6. And therefore the answer is 960. But we removed that 0. We weren't asked for 3 lots of 312. We were asked for 30 lots of 312. So we put the 0 back, and 936 becomes 9,360 grams of sugar. 2 ways to solve the question. Is either of them better? That would be up to you. Which way would you find the easiest way to do it? That's something to think about in the future. Okay, let's move on to our lesson. Lesson 12. Our big idea there. I'm not going to go over that. Now, this is an example problem you've seen before. 23 times 8. The question's asking you how many chocolate bars in 23 packs of 8. And we partition the question, solving it by breaking it into smaller bits, easier bits, using what we call place value shift, where we turn like the 20 into 2 for a moment, and then we return it to it. We've shown you this question several times, and it's not a new one. Okay, this is the new one. 254 times 5. This is a little bit of the extension. So 254 groups of 5. What about $5 notes? 254 $5 notes. Now, I can't show you 254 $5 notes on this sheet. I don't have room. So what I've done is I've created a little bundle, a little group of 10 groups of $5 notes. Okay, so that thing there, that orangey thing, that's 10 $5 notes. And so here we go. I'm representing 254 $5 notes. Each of those is $10, and then there's the 4 $5 notes on their own. And we're being asked, how much money do you have if you have 254 $5 notes? And the mathematical question, we break it up. We've done this with other questions, smaller questions. We can do it with bigger questions. Remember, it's not the 254 being turned into 200 or 50 or 4. Those are groups of 5. You're being asked for, what is 200 groups of 5? What is 50 groups of 5? What is 4 groups of 5? Remember, in multiplication, you must always remember that, okay? It's not like addition, okay? And so then we write it out. We write it out as a mathematical question. We're going to solve these problems and add them together. But we'd use that trick, 200 times 5. Well, we know that 2 times 5 is 10 because that's in our multiplication tables. So then we can, and this is a fancy word, extrapolate. Basically, we can use that to know that 200 times 5 is 1,000 because there's more place value zeros, isn't there? Okay, that's the first one. We do the same with 50 times 5. We know 5 times 5 is 25, so 50 times 5 is 250. And then the last one, 4 times 5 is 20. So we've solved those three, and then we add them together. We take those three answers and put them together down there. And we add the 1,000 and the 200. We put the 10s, the 50 and the 20 together. And we get the answer, which is $1,270. Okay, this is our little bit of growth, mathematical growth, because I think you guys are ready for it. Okay, more information about our Google Meetup. Okay, I went over this yesterday. The information's there again for you. I'm not going to go over it. There's your times tables, practice activity, okay? You already know about this. Just follow the instructions. And let's have a look at today's question. Tane, Cassie and Safoy are young musicians who play in an alt-rock band, Sugar. They have been sponsored by a mobile phone company to play 4 small gigs in New Zealand, Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch and Dunedin, as part of an advertising and promotional campaign. The shows will be free. The mobile phone company will pay all the costs of putting on the shows, travel and accommodation costs. They will also pay the band $9 per person that attends the shows. The band plays the shows and sends the attendance numbers to the company. And there you go. They got 195 in Auckland, 156 in Wellington, 127 in Christchurch, and 98 in Dunedin. Question. How much money did the band get paid for those 4 shows? That's your question there. Okay, that's the question. Okay, so again, don't forget I'll have the Google Meetups at 10:30 and 2 o'clock today. You're more than welcome to tune in and ask me any questions. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you soon.